Well, I actually moved here from Venezuela when I was 6 years old. I moved to Naples and I grew up there. I moved to Miami about 2006 when I started going to Miami International University of Art and Design for bachelor's in fashion design. And I graduated a year ago exactly. My portfolio, and these are my inspirational photography that I found from different, from Paul Pilatus. Actually, he does a lot of black and white, and I found all these layers, and I found it so inspirational. And I found this fabric that was, you know, chiffon, sewn on chiffon.
Did you do it on Photoshop? Tell me a little bit.
Yes, actually, I did all this on Photoshop and Illustrator, basically. These are the sketches. I made these two. You know, I constructed them. I actually have one over there. And what I did is I hand sketched them and then I rendered them on Photoshop. You can see I established a lot of the layers from the photography that Paul Pilatus took.
Why did you pick Miami Art School?
I picked Miami Art School because I was actually extremely interested in their joint program with FIU. I get to do, basically, I want to do marketing, PR. I want to one day have my own magazine and be able to actually make it myself. I want to have a fashion magazine, but for young designers, people that are starting out, so they can really get their message across throughout the United States. Well, hopefully it would start in Miami and then the United States. I want to be able to work in all facets of fashion. I want to do photography. I want to do videos. I'm very curious about learning exactly what it is to do art direction and, you know, to be able to direct my own company and be able to direct the way my career is going. That since I was a really young girl, my grandmother used to sew, and she would, I would ask her for her sewing machine, even though I was like 4 years old, and they gave me this little tiny sewing machine. So I've always been interested. My aunt, she taught me how to sew. She would teach me how to make doll dresses and Barbie dresses, and when I would come back to the United States from summers, since I didn't know how to sew and my mother didn't either, I would make them out of paper and basically make my own patterns and just put them on my Barbies and stuff like that. Or I would buy quilting patches at Joann's and I would cut them, and one time I made a quilt, but since I didn't have a sewing machine, I handmade a whole quilt in like one summer. I was so bored. Miami Ad School will help me prepare for the future by, you know, giving me the background and giving me all the information I need, all the new technology, how to use it, how to really just utilize everything around me to become, you know, a great art director and to really get out there and get my point across. Well, actually about 2 years ago I worked with the Humane Society and I made a coat out of faux fur. I designed it. What I did was I actually grabbed dusters and I screwed off the top of them, and I took off the actual polyester strands, and I sewed them together to make different strands and basically just made it into a faux fur coat. So it was eco-friendly and it caught a lot of attention from the media. I got a couple of articles on it. I'm actually, you know, it's like my baby, so I'm really proud of it. A reporter did a news interview on me, and she wanted me to do an eco-friendly dress for her for a pageant, so I ended up making a skirt out of faux fur, out of my duster bristles, and then out of her old bracelets I made a corset that is, fall on me, that is, you know, fully beaded. It actually took me like 3 days to bead, so that was fun. And you know, she actually won for eco-friendly for the pageant.
I remember when my mom used to let her sew on her machine, make her own Barbie clothes, and we had this little doll that we all got for Christmas, and it was all the same one, and she made us a basket for everybody, like a different one, and she always loved to like make the little clothes and change the baby's clothes and all this kind of stuff. She is a really outgoing person, will never shut up, will force me into doing this video because I am very shy, and she's really not. She's really outgoing and great. That's all I have to say.
Aww.
I did photo shoots, I've worked with stylists, I've worked with photographers, I've worked with artists, I've worked with graphic designers, animators, everything to really get my point across, and I have worked well with them. You know, we've done Mujer magazine, did a photo shoot which included one of my dresses, and you know, there's been different occasions where people actually, after they worked with me, come to me and ask me, oh, I'm doing this fashion show, I would love for your swimwear to be in there, I would love for your couture to be in there. And I believe that if I hadn't communicated well, and if I hadn't, you know, worked 3 years in marketing prior to going to school, I wouldn't have known exactly what it is like to go out there and market myself and communicate my designs to other people. You might have a great design, but if you don't know how to market yourself, and if you don't know how to sell yourself, you're not gonna go that far.
I'm glad you're taking this serious.
Sorry.